Hello and welcome to our special coverage on Akshaya Tritiya. I am Manisha Gupta. This year, Akshaya Tritiya is expected to boost the gold demand as it coincides with the wedding and festival season. Moreover, the government has launched sovereign gold bonds, which is available at post offices, banks and stock exchanges, giving an assured return of 2.5% per annum. But before we go any further, let's go across to Yash Jain, who's joining us now from the Zaveri Bazaar in Mumbai. Yash, hi, it must be buzzing around you right now. What is it that you're picking up? What is the mood like?
Well, this street here in the Zaveri Bazaar area of Mumbai has been buzzing with customers on this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. Remember, after 2 years of subdued demand, the shopkeepers here in Zaveri Bazaar tell me that on this day of Akshaya Tritiya, they are experiencing a demand push as far as the yellow metal is concerned. In fact, as far as the trading day is concerned, there is an evident positive trend in gold sales, and they expect to close the day with a jump of about 10 to 15% as far as gold sales are concerned. What is really helping gold sales this time around? Remember, the marriage season this time comes along with Akshaya Tritiya, and according to these shopkeepers, that is getting a club demand for the yellow metal. Not just that, the gold prices are expected to remain steady in short to medium term because of the threat which is being posed by the other asset classes, which also makes gold a safer investment bet. So that is an encouragement here. What is really working against gold sales this time? Remember, the biggest reason here is the return. Gold has been an underperformer as compared to other asset classes, which is becoming a slight discouragement as far as investment aspect is concerned. Not just that, it's also the price aspect. Remember, gold has been trading at the highest price historically on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, so that is also somewhere becoming a discouragement. Nevertheless, these shopkeepers here are going all out in giving discounts as far as the making charges are concerned through various promotional offers to make sure that gold does not lose its sheen just yet.
Oh, well, absolutely. Brightly lit and a lot of buzz behind you. Ashish, thank you so much for joining us for that. But let's also get in our panel of experts now and understand on what importance does Akshaya Tritiya hold and what is the sense and returns that you can expect when you buy gold today. Joining us now is Mr. P.R. Somsundaram, who is MD, World Gold Council. We also have with us Mr. C.B. Singh from the Bureau of Indian Standards. Sanjeev Bhatia is CFO, PC Jewelers, and Ishu Datwani is founder, Anmol Jewelers. Gentlemen, hi, thank you so much for joining us right now. Well, what a day it has been. Happy Akshaya Tritiya to you to begin with. And Som, let me start with you first. What is your sense? How have you seen the Akshaya Tritiya been? And there are a lot of Twitter queries really today. We have been inviting that. We have Pankaj who's asked the question today that are we mixing investment and religion when it comes to Akshaya Tritiya as a festival? So when we talk about days like Dhanteras and Akshaya Tritiya, these are the 2 days when we buy gold. And yes, it perhaps is mixing culture and religion with investment in sense of gold, but then gold means much more than investment for us. What is your sense? Should there be more days like that, or shouldn't we be mixing days?
Well, I think we need, first thing is, it is good that we have these 2 occasions. I wouldn't say that for everything has to be changed. You know, why should we change something which we are proud of? I think these 2 dates are very important. As I said, trade puts in a lot of work towards making this a success, and I think we should keep up the tradition. But if you were to ask me, yeah, should we de-seasonalize gold demand? I think there is a merit in talking about it, because trade does tend to get very seasonal, although actually our buying habits are such that we accumulate gold for a wedding or for a particular occasion over years, actually. So in a sense, this seasonality is just in every annual buying. It is the seasonality is not in accumulating gold. So there is a merit in de-seasonalizing. I think the tools like the digital gold that we are seeing, you know, when people can buy as and when they have a little money, buy a piece of gold, you know, keep it vaulted somewhere and use it later to buy jewelry, I think that would come in. We see initial trends of that, and they are very positive. And do we need more occasions like this? I think we need more occasions, certainly for gold. That will also help exports. That will, you know, we have tourist seasons. So why should we not be targeting the tourists? So yes, we need more occasions to market gold to various segments of the population. We also need to seasonalize, de-seasonalize gold buying through modern platforms like digital.
Well, absolutely. Digital really seems to be picking up. That's yet another area. While, of course, people are buying physical gold, they also are buying ETF and digital gold too. But, you know, when we compare gold to equities, we clearly have seen that equities have outperformed. How would you like to see a portfolio? What part of gold should be in a portfolio which perhaps holds other asset classes as well?
As you know, gold does not have a coupon. At the same time, it doesn't have a counterparty risk. I mean, these are basic facts about gold that we all know. So in a sense, when we say gold does not give a return, all that we are saying it is gold price hasn't moved, which means the other asset classes have moved. The very fact that gold is inversely linked with the other asset prices, with dollar, with other asset classes, is a good thing. That is what makes gold a very important portfolio diversifier. So we have done our studies and we have found that any portfolio with gold performs better over a long period of time. So looking at it in a very short term will be we might draw conclusions which are not necessarily correct. So I would think that regardless of the price, given all the geopolitical complexities, no one can foresee the future, and therein lies the strength of gold. I think a part of the savings being kept in gold, whether you are a household, you are an institution, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think we should be behaving like traders, looking at a mark-to-market of our gold savings every day.
So, so what would you say? How much gold should one hold in their portfolios? What is that percentage that you would advise?
Well, there is no one absolute figure. It all depends on how exposed you are, what's your exposure on equity markets, riskier assets, and what's your exposure on debt, what's your exposure on alternative assets. So there is no one fixed percentage, but generally it is seen that between 5 and 20% is what I would say. But it all depends on individual portfolios. I think the advice has to be taken from the portfolio managers. But the range is between 5 and 20, depending on how risky your portfolio otherwise is.
Well, yes, need more days to buy gold. And of course, any portfolio needs gold for that stability that other asset classes perhaps wouldn't give you because of the volatility. Thank you for that, Som. But Mr. Singh, I would want to come to you as well. How are you advising customers who are buying gold today? How many Hallmark licensed jewelers are there? Because I understand it is still, a lot desired in this field. We still are awaiting the final mandatory laws in case of hallmarking. But what is the scenario right now? What are people buying?
So when a customer goes out to a BIS recognized outlet, and let me here clarify, we have about 23,000 BIS recognized outlets where hallmarked articles are sold, be it gold or in silver. Now, and this number is also increasing at a very high pace, if I can say so, because if you see in the last 2 to 3 years, the increase in the jewelers' license, those jewelers who have decided to be a part of the hallmarking scheme of BIS, their number has grown a lot. So that shows confidence in the hallmarking. Now, when a person goes there to buy a gold or silver article, hallmarked article, then he should first see whether it is BIS recognized or not. For that, the retail outlets is supposed to display prominently the BIS certificate which has been given to him, which will have the BIS logo and also the registered mark or number of that jeweler. So that one must see. That would give an assurance to the customer that yes, this is a shop, this is a recognized shop. Then he should also see that the bill which is given to him, on that bill, the jeweler's number or mark is there and also BIS logo. The third is that on the article which he is buying, the artifact which he is buying, he or she must ensure that 4 marks are there. The first mark is the BIS logo. The second is of the purity, which is in carat as well as in fineness. And there are only 3 grades of hallmarked as far as gold is concerned. One is 22 carats, which is reflected there as 22K, and then 18 carat and 22 and 14 carat. Now, corresponding to that, the fineness is also there. Like for 22 carat, it is 916. That means in 1,000 part, 916 part is gold. So so that's how, this is how a customer should approach the whole scheme, the whole thing when he's going for purchase of a hallmarked article.
Sure. So, Mr. Singh, my next question really is about the regulations from the government on mandatory hallmarking. When are they really expected? What is your preparedness on the same? Is the market ready for this? Because as you said, only 23,000 jewelers are ready for it. We understand that there are more than 1 lakh jewelers in India right now. So if we just are at 25% of licensed jewelers in India, and with the quantum of people who would be going out and buying gold and jewelry today, clearly all of them wouldn't be getting hallmark jewelry.
See, the new regulations, because the new act is there, under that a new regulation has to be made. That has been made. It can be, I think, in the next 15-20 days, maybe in a month, the new regulations would come. And after that, government, it is entirely up to the government to take a call regarding when they want to make it mandatory. But as far as preparedness is concerned of BIS, we are prepared because, as I mentioned, it is a market-driven exercise. So if there is a demand for gold, for hallmark jewelry, then the supply, the corresponding supply would also come up, both in terms of increase in the retail outlets as well as more ANH centers coming up. You see that without announcement of mandatory hallmarking, there is a huge growth in the jewelers, as well as jewelers who have decided to be part of the scheme, as well as an ANH center. I mentioned the ANH centers, the private players, they will see a scope of business, and wherever there is a demand, the ANH centers would come up, and if it is made, hallmarking is made compulsory, then the jewelers will also get registered. So it is depending on the government announcement. The government announces, then within a very, very short time, because in any announcement they have to give, after that they have to give a switchover time. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. So within that period, I'm sure ANH centers would come up.
Mr. Singh, also throw some light on the costing part of this, because I understand what the customers are buying today is the cost plus 3% GST. When you add the hallmarking to it, what is the cost per piece? How does the resale happen? How is the whole scenario then work? Because I understand there is assaying, there is hallmarking, and then there is a buyback assurity that also needs to come from this.
See, first of all, the cost of getting an article hallmarked is just ₹35. 35 for gold and 25 for silver. So, I hear many people say that if the hallmark is expensive, which is not the case. If you see, compared to the total cost of the gold jewelry, hallmark is a very minuscule part of it. It is almost negligible, if I can say so. The second part is that if somebody has bought a hallmark jewelry, if he wants to get it tested, then he can go to any of the ANH centers, and they can pay the fee for that, which is about ₹35, as I mentioned, about testing of a hallmark article, and then he can get the purity tested. And if in the event if it is not up to the declared purity which is there on the article, then he can lodge a complaint and the complaint is very simple. It is BIS has an app through which they can do it, or they can lodge a complaint online or in writing, offline, and then ANH centers are penalized by way of derecognition, and similarly the 2 times to the extent of 2 times the impurity, the difference of the purity, that will be refunded by the jeweler. So let's say if it is 20 carats, if it is marked 22 carats and the jeweler has given 20 carats, then 2 times the difference will be paid to the customer by the jeweler.
Well, that really is quite assuring. But as you heard Mr. Singh saying that it is a very minuscule price that you have to pay for hallmarking, 25 to 30 rupees per piece for your gold and silver jewelry and article as well. And the buyback, of course, is also quite on the positive side. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. But with that, it's time for a very short break. Stay tuned. We have ground reports on Akshaya Tritiya also coming in from Ahmedabad and Chennai. And more guests will be joining us on the other side.